And good evening, everybody. Welcome to week 2 of the 2020 season 4 iRacing calendar. It's all about the gyro here. Greetings to all from Music City of Nashville, Tennessee. Hope your weekend was great. Mine was excellent. And after a really good week 1, week 2 starts off with Spec Racing Ford Mondays. We are at Mid Ohio Sports Car Course. And I can tell you right now from the practice session that this is going to be a lot harder for me to get some good results in. So there's a few reasons for that. First of all, Mid Ohio is a challenging course in the Spec Racing Ford. You have to be very good with all facets of your driving. So really test everything that you need to do in the Spec Racing Ford. Secondly, there has been a drop off in number of people I saw in the practice session. So I had an overlay up just to look at skill rating. I was the lowest skill rating. So my skill rating is 1049. The next lowest person was in the mid 12s. The next one above that was in the 18s or 1900s. So if this goes one split, yeah, it's going to be struggle bus because I'm definitely giving up. In some cases, 4,000. That's right. That's a 4 with 3 zeros of I rating. So definitely going to require some wherewithal. And I did think about dropping this week and not even racing at Mid Ohio, but I chose to do it because of what the rest of the week looks at. So tomorrow on the docket, it will be IMSA GT3 with the IMSA Online Sports Car Championship. That is at Suzuka this week. And that's the full course. I've been practicing there in the Audi, and yeah, it's narrow. It feels more narrow than Monza did. So backing up that podium is going to be a challenge. If these two races go well, then the rest of the week will be with the V8 supercars. On Saturday is the Bathurst 1000. So I'm waiting on some feedback from what will be my teammates with International Endurance Team. I'm checking the Discord right now. And Mount Panorama has been definitely challenging. So for sure, it's definitely going to be a challenging week with 3 brand new circuits to learn, and to end it with driving a V8 supercar up and down Mount Panorama 60 plus times. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. So yep, haven't seen anything. I just checking the Discord here on that before we get in session. So let's have a look at the entry so far. And this is the first race of the week. So in Nashville, the calendar turns over at 7 p.m. local time. So pretty happy about that. So right now, 27. So that will probably have 2 splits, which will definitely be needed because the fast boys and girls are very, very fast. Um, Give you an idea, the fastest lap time I saw was 137. Mine is like 143, 144. But the person who's at the fastest time is 4 times better than I am in iRating. So take that as you will. So anyway, just wanted to show you a little bit more of the calendar. Okayama has the MX5 rookie class this week, so familiar environs for us. Laguna Seca has the TCR. I think that's going to be a blast. And with the fact that that is free content this week, unlike, um, actually, no, correction, it is another free content because Lime Rock was last week. That would be nice. And Ferrari GT3 Challenge went from the paid content to the um, free content of Summer Point. I think you're going to have great attendance in that. And I did see it up here earlier, but there is a logo in here for the Bathurst 1000 practice US server. And Skippy is at Interlagos. So, pretty good week of racing on tap. So, anyway, outside of that, the only other bit of news to report from the iRacing part of the world is just the fact that the rig upstairs is slowly but surely getting put together. Just waiting on Comcast to reach out to me to schedule a day and time where they're going to get the coax jack upstairs working. So the jack is already in there. They just need to turn it on. And once that happens, we'll be able to use this in the seat. The seat is very comfortable. And to get the G29 and pedals, all that. And then the true ergonomics begin of how high the television needs to be so I can see it, and field of view calculations are going to have to be redone and all that. So that will probably take a whole day just to get to my liking. So let's go ahead and jump into the fire here. This circuit is fantastic for this car. The first, I would say, about 8 to 10 laps, I was very uncertain. I almost decided not to race here at all this week. In iRacing, you get 4 drop weeks. So, but with Mount Panorama and some of the braking situations that um, you have here, I thought this would be a good practice for Mount Panorama. So, one other thing I want to kind of toot their horn on. I was watching a stream earlier this evening. Furtive Live is the streamer, very nice guy. His name is Jack, and the creator of RaceLab, the overlay software, was in there and debuted what is going to be the new um, Race Labs is scheduled to come out this week. I will tell you right now, it is night and day in terms of how wonderful it is. So Mitch Weatherly and Ferenz Arabian, these two guys are so quick in this car. You can tell they have been driving this car a lot. I'm still loving the Spec Racing Ford. There's an enjoyment that I'm getting out of this car. Last week's top 5, even though I tried to throw it away, was a really big learning tool for me. But if you notice, Brian Leavitt's time at a second, and that's where I'm falling at. So I am definitely going to be in the back with this. And so basically, tonight's race is going to be all about trying to stay out of trouble. As you're fond of hearing me saying, take my Sure Plus, and whether that's safety rating, I rating, or both, get something out of this race. I'm hoping that because there's such big I ratings when they do the 2 splits, that because right now I'm the lowest that was done the practice session. So just be cognizant of that. So got my setup loaded up. This week's Spec Racing Ford setup, was found on the forum somewhere. And as you see, my fastest time is low 144s, and I have seen 137s in practice. But this track is definitely a great equalizer. So if I gotta take you around, and this car in cold tires is scary around here. And as you see, this corner isn't constant on the hill. It slides away right there. That's the keyhole. And here is the straight where the Indy cars actually start. That's where you see the Honda Tower right there. And you're going to get into a prime passing spot here. I'm braking at the 300. Some people brake at 250. And you can't hit the brakes too hard. You'll spin it out. And here is madness. And I have spun in this at least half a dozen times. We're past China Beach, heading over to Thunder Valley. A couple quick right-handers coming up here. When I get the car pivot, I'm looking for a gap in the trees right there. That's when you punch it. And we're going to come up here on a quick left-hander. Quick left-hander. Scary with cold tires. And here's the carousel. Very challenging corner. You have adverse camber, and at the decreasing radius corner, and somehow I actually knew what I was doing in that corner. First time for everything. And that's it. That is a lap here at Mid-Ohio. So first corner, try to get close to that curb, and see cold tires, I get the push. So, hi cone. So, I've noticed on this setup, it's about 2 full laps, and then I feel the front end. I tried lowering the pressures a little bit, and what I found was it was really good about 5 laps in, but the first 5 laps I was driving on ice. So I went back to a little bit more conservative setup, because I know I don't have pace around here. Last week was free content. A lot of people like the car. This, you got to pay the track, and you see how difficult it is. Lots of undulation. You really have to have good feel in the wheel. And so I wouldn't be surprised if there's at least one less split in this. This is not an easy car to drive to begin with, and around here it's really, really challenging. So I'm having to keep the car in 3rd gear over the carousel and madness because the wheels spin. That's a much better first corner. So, tire's not quite warmed up yet. Once you get right on the inside, hit it, and I've overshot it. So in the footage, they say when you see the Honda sign, hit it. If you hit it early, that's what happens. So I'm starting on 60% bias. That will move down toward the rear. Once I get the tires warmed up and the front end is just starting to grip, I can feel a little bit of grip coming in. So yeah, Pilot GT4 is also here this week, but because of it being Bathurst week, I really need to spend a fair bit of time this week to get myself together. There is a bump there on the inside of the corner. So 44 in, so we're going to have 2 splits. A little bit slow into that corner. The keyhole is really interesting because once you feel the car kind of fall away, like right there, now you can get on the gas and take off. And so, yeah, kind of like last week, get in the top half, protect the safety rating. We did lose a little safety rating last week in the Spec Racing 4. See, now the fronts are just grabbing. Oh, so nice. Now I can shift the bias a little bit. I have it mapped to the dial. And that's what happens when you misbrake. So you just saw it there. You have to do your braking before getting over the crest, otherwise you will break the car absolutely to smithereens. So, all right, here we go again. So, I will definitely be configuring the fast repair and all that for this because, yeah, cold tires, when I went on the low air pressures, first 3 laps were scary. And once they came in, they became a different kind of scary, but this setup is a little bit safer. It talks to me a little bit more. But yeah, sometime this week you'll see race labs come up. One last thing, tomorrow, there's going to be a patch. iRacing's going to do something. Wait for Dominique to go by. Dominique was one of the faster. Normally Dominique is a female name in French. But long story made short, there is a hotfix coming out. I haven't seen the release notes yet. It may be up by now on Reddit. But it's gonna, service is gonna go down at, I believe, 1200 GMT, so that's like 7 in the morning here in Nashville.
Box of neutral.
So,
Good racing, Mitch. Super fun.
see,
You
I'm
too.
a little bit off in that corner. I'm not getting the brake and turn in correct.
Really pushing me. And I think I'm pushing you too. Yeah, I saved it. A lot of fun.
See if I hadn't lifted there. So you see how the corner drops? Okay. We definitely will be in the bottom of the split. I may be the last guy in the field in terms of whatnot. So let me make sure that. Oh, I just realized you were not seeing that. So let me switch you over to that. There we go. All you saw was the screen there. My apologies. Pro streamer, I am not. So yeah, this is going to be a hard. Looking at it, I'm 9th, and I don't recognize a lot of these names, but definitely. Let's see how many are in here. 15. So if I end up where I start, I'll be pretty happy with that. Obviously, a smaller number is going to be more desirable, but this circuit is tough. It's tough. And being in the lower split, part of my strategy is I'm banking on people screwing up in front of me and me just driving at my own pace. So, want to give a quick shout out to a few groups of people. So, Snail Racing, want to say hello to you. Also, International Endurance Team, Blue Shell Academy, want to say hello to you as well. So, yeah. Let's say hello to all. I love this paint job. I've seen it now a couple times, and I just love it. That's 100 marks right there. Liking that. We got a few people. So I did do the practice session, like I said. Let's see what we have in. So we have 2 Division 9s. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 Division 8s. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 Division 7s. We have 1 solitary 6, 1 solitary 5, and 3 4s. So I'm expecting the 3 4s, the 5, and the 6 to absolutely just drive away. So, unlike last week where I felt that I needed to get a good result, I wanted to get a good start. This week, it may be a safety rating type of week. I am concerned about the incident limit. I'll tell you that right now. Very, very concerned about the incident limit because it's so easy to get not only 1 X's, but 2 X's from getting the car so sideways that bad things start happening. So, let's see, we're at 60 to start. All right. So, I am using tonight for the rev counter and all of that, the overlay from SynLab tonight. See, that's how cold the car is there. It's really important I get halfway decent quali. Because if it is a standing start, the keyhole is going to be back crazy. Hence my comment about making sure I had the fast repair and all that set up. So make sure you like, follow, subscribe, tell your friends. And here we go. This braking zone down here heading into the Madness Complex. This is going to be scary on cold tires. As you just heard there. And that was about 50 feet further back than once the tires are warmed up. I wanted to make sure I got a clean lap on the board. Tires are still a little bit cold. I'll tell you that right now. Sub 145, I'll take that every day of the week. I'm happy with that effort. And I will have to back the bias from the front back toward the rear as the tires heat up. We start at 60 for about 2 laps, then go down to 58, and then really when the tires get super hot, 57, maybe 56. So as you see here, the number 1, 2, and 3 car, Cody, who's also in Division 8, he put in a flyer, and so 144.9, I wasn't pushing very hard. I just wanted to get into the field. I tend to race better anyway than quali. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm using the SynLab speedometer tonight. And so it's been working out really good. The shift lights are pretty accurate with the Spec Racing Ford. So I can just trust the lights, and it's one less thing I have to worry about. So I'm pretty happy about that. So, all right, and 312 is 123. So, as you see, some quick people. It's going to be a challenge because you're going to see some of the fast guys come through. I don't think they're going to qual just because they are expecting carnage. Standing start here, keep in mind, is on a little bit of an uphill. So if you gas it too much, you could break the tires loose, depending on where you're at. So right now, inside road 3, I'm okay with that. That gets me into the inside of the first corner. That also gets me to the inside of the chicane. keyhole will be a whole different ball of wax. So, all right. Let's see here. Anyone else go out? So George Vincent, he's had 8 incidents. David Oros, 4. Nicholas, I don't know where he is at. Did he? No, he hasn't. He hasn't got it in session. So John and Nicholas are not yet in the thing. Friendly community. I mean, in practice, people were saying hi. It's kind of like a gathering. So so yeah, really excited. Make sure we get the advertisement in. So yeah, beginning of the week. Now we're 6. I'm okay with that. I'm still punching above my level at being the 9th car. And if I'm the 9th car at 1050 I rating, there's a lot behind me that are less. So we'll see how this plays out. But then again, we've already looked at the divisions. We know what the splits are. So, all right. So it looks like we ended up in 6. And we're going to go ahead and grid. Make sure we grid. And okay, no fuel. And no tire replacements. And we're on the outside, and yeah, my brake bias is at 60. I'm on the flat part, I have noticed that. So if you go behind me a couple rows, there is a faint incline, but I'm gonna have to watch the first corner here. Good luck, everybody. Not getting any dialogue here. So I don't know if my voice chat is working inside, but pedals seem to be working. Let me make sure. Yeah, we're fine. All right. Here we go. And 789. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So I'll be curious to see if anyone starts from the pit lane outside of the 2 that have not yet connected. So starting 6th in the number 9 car, Spec Racing Ford. Morning session about 9 a.m. And I will tell you, I am scared to death of this first lap. All right, wait for the lights. Steady. And we got about as good a start as I could have hoped for. I do see the inside. I'm going to let him. Oh, that's cold tires right there, but I'm perfectly fine with that. And away we go. Super cold tires for about the first 2 laps. And so the draft is important here. So if you can break the draft, you can get away. All right, we gotta be super careful here. I took that corner very cautiously. So I got the bias at 60. Oh, he's spinning. And that's why you got to be so careful with this car on cold tires. This place really shows that. And this is the corner I'm super worried about. So I'm just trying to be super easy here. There's the bump. So cold tires. So I'm moving the bias just a little bit at a time. Just have to wait for the car to do something. All right. Right now, I'm in my bubble. I like being in my bubble. Just need to keep it clean. Just telling myself, don't get cocky just because you're in the top 5 on lap 2 doesn't mean anything. You got to get the job done. All right, 2 laps done. Front's just starting to come in. I think I got another lap before I tweak the bias again. Almost where I want it. Right now, David Nunnemaker is probably my most favorite person because he may be holding up people. And I'm okay with that because I'll take all the help I can get. Something has happened here. I see smoke. Okay, and I see what has happened. You go into that corner pretty blind and you're so focused on being smooth on the brakes. Still a little slow in that corner. Go one more lap and then we'll adjust the bias here. Just trying to drive smooth. With the rolling terrain, this course rewards a smoothness. It you have to be very gentle. Gentle on brakes, gentle on turn in. A lot of precision. So I'm braking a little early for this because I want to get I don't want the car pushing. Oh, see, car tried to slide. So, just rolled it off the throttle. We'll go to 58 now. And eventually we'll probably go down 1 more percent and then just get on with getting on. And that's what happens when you go in too quick. You just saw what happened. Now I'm going to lose probably 3 seconds. Well, no, actually it's a slow corner, probably 2 seconds. But you saw what happened. I got a little too excited because I didn't get the braking done before turning. So so the 4 fastest guys have gone off. Now it tightens. See, that's what happens when you overshoot it. I'm going to go back and give myself a little front bias there. Not quite comfortable with that much rear bias yet in this car. So see, that time I got my braking done a lot earlier. My line is a lot better in that corner. I'm happy. Okay, we're on lap 6. I just saw the cars over there on the right, and it looks like Jeff Vinson has gotten by. So yeah, that's much better. Much, much better. Okay, somebody is off. That was Cody's second issue here. Now the question is, how much pace does Jeff have versus me? Can I keep it neat? Got to keep it neat, and do I have some pace? Because right now, okay, that was my fast lap. 144 is, and that was because of the brake bias change. I was very comfortable with that. If he does a second a lap quicker, I'm okay. Cody is off again. Now, notice there's two Nunamakers in this. You have a David and you have a Brian. Brian is the one that's ahead. And I expect Cody is going to help me here. Because now Cody has been off 3 times. So if he gets near me, I will let him go. Because I'm already in a really good position. I'll take an off track here. Get on. And I know what I did there. I did what you cannot do in this car. And I've just lost half of my gap. So, silly, 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 silly. All right. I needed that wake-up call. Come on. Let's go. What happened is I saw he was there, and what I didn't do is trust him to not dive bomb me in the keyhole. I know he's faster. I wanted him by me. He was actually holding me up. What I need is Jeff and Tim to start fighting there, because they are coming out of the keyhole now. Now, I got too much bias now. Now I'm starting to struggle. What I don't want to do is to go backwards. I need to go forwards here. Because that was 5 seconds of time. Because I was silly. Make sure I get through this corner here. Get through that corner. Because they're right there behind me. So I need to put some good laps now. Okay, let's roll this in here. So right now, I'm trying to race the situation, and it looks like on the relative, there has been an off. So the number 15 car has jumped some positions. Need to go a little wider there. That's much, much better corner. And now I'm going to try to run. Because Michael is the 15 car. I'm the 9 car. So theoretically, it should be faster. The theory is exactly that. It's theory. And across the line, I got 5 to go. Okay. much better. I'm being very cautious in the keyhole because the tires definitely feel toasty. There's some toasty tires. Okay, finally I got that corner right. Finally I got that corner right. Just trying to tell myself, slow hands. Very slow hands required. Okay, we finally got a good exit. And he gained about a 10th. Yeah, he got a little faster exit. He might be a little quicker than me right now. I think we got a fight on our hands here. But I seem to be trying to get out of the keyhole a fraction better there. I'm going to have to drive some really good laps. He's a little better out of turn one. A little better out of turn one. He's a little better out of the keyhole. I'm a little better out of the carousel, I should say, over there, not the keyhole. Oh, I know what I did there too. I know exactly what I did there. I put the gas instead of the brake. Stupid me. I got excited because I felt the car come over the crest, and that wasn't the situation at all. And that's why Spec Racing 4 is so tail happy. So now I have to fight for 6. Silly error on my part, considering I've drove a pretty good race. But now I got to get it home. Got to get it home. And I have given Michael a lease on life up there. So, got to find that rhythm. Driving a little bit erratic. And Cody has gone off again. All right. Jeff has gained a second on me in half a lap. Cody, though, I'm going to go by him. Roll it. Very good. Okay. Now I feel better. And I'm going to let him go by. Because I just don't have rhythm. And this is such a rhythm circuit. It's such a rhythm circuit, so I'll take my +1, send him on the way, and keep my 6th position. Somebody has gone off. And that is Michael. Now, what I may do is not fight, because I'm in the top 5. Jeff has drove very well. I don't want to wreck his race. And I want to see if I can get my top 5. I think Jeff has got the same idea I got. We've got 2.6 seconds, 2 laps to go. So I have no quarrels keeping my position, because that's the top 5, and I was not expecting that. After my mistake over on Madness. So, we're going to have about a lap and a half to go. Can I keep the top 5? Jeff is definitely quick. It's going to be tough. I'm going to have to drive a really good last lap here. All right, last lap. Right now I got 2.8 seconds. I just need to hold serve. Don't panic. And I get the double pleasure here. Don't spin it. Wait. There you go. Go, 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 go. Let's go. Push. Push, 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 push. Push, 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 push. All right, need some good corners here. Someone spun. Don't know who. Oh, it's Jeff. Was not expecting that. And that. Fourth place. Well done, everybody.
Yeah, fun.
Fourth place. Wow. How about that? And I think we only got 2x. All right.
That's how the track always is.
It's not the fastest who wins, it's who gets over the line first. Good race, everybody. Thanks for having great fun and clean, hard racing. You guys were the stars of a great Twitch episode, so thank you again. All right, there's the results. So 1, 2, 3 ended up 1, 2, 3. The guy in 6 somehow got 4th. Hey, it's a great week. Mission accomplished on that. Michael started 5th, ended 5th. Jeff had a very nice run, 12 to 6. And then you see the rest of the story. So let's see, 2x on the incident count. And yeah, pretty happy about that. So let me do some quick switcheroo here. And thank you, Hooli. Thank you very much. The car, yes, very good IR. We're about to find out how good the IR is. The front end of the car, the last 5 laps got very squirrely. And that's because I went with the conservative setup. It's a little bit more pressure in the front. So let's find out together what we got, shall we? So we just switched over here. And let me quit that bad boy here. And let's find out the tail of the tape, shall we? All right, so results ready. So as predicted, only 3 splits. I think last week was 5. But average lap time 142.4. A little bit low strength of field, but hey, you can't beat that with a stick. 0.12 to the good on the safety rating, 58 on the I rating. Bingo, bango, bongo. That's how you get it done. So I'll take that every day of the week. Let's look at the finals here. Brett Nordstrom started first, ended first. He got plus 76. Claudio, plus 53. Brian Nunemaker, remember there were 2, plus 45. And yours truly, low I rating, but plus 58. And just drove sensibly to get the score. Michael and Jeff, they were battling out. At least they went plus. Michael got plus 65, so very, very well done, Michael. Jeff with plus 22. And then the rest. And let's see. John did not start, and that's why he lost 75. Nicholas didn't start. He lost 62. Peter Roth got disqualified, so he got 17 incidents, which is very easy to get at Mid-Ohio. Cody struggled, ended up losing 19. But hey, pretty good. Not too shabby. So we're going to call that a night. Thanks, everybody that came out. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, tell your friends. Tomorrow, IMSA GT3 Suzuka. Oh, I'm getting the chills already. Because, and thank you, Hooley for the follow. Much appreciated. You can watch this again on my YouTube channel. Same handle name, all about the gyro. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and celebrating one of the great circuits of the world, Suzuka, honoring one of my great heroes, my sporting hero, the late Ayrton Senna, had such great success at Suzuka during his life. To drive around there, yeah, I'm tingling right now. So take care, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at Suzuka.